Hello everyone. I already know.
It's a Monday.
I already know. Okay, I came on here years ago announcing my pregnancy for my third baby, and then I disappeared again.
Oh.
That's the baby, y'all. The baby whose pregnancy I was announcing and supposed to record videos for you guys following me through on the journey, that's the baby. She's 2. Am I sorry? No. It is what it is. Life was lifing, and that's just that. Okay? But no. You know, life really was lifing. But I have greater intentions now because I bought a new camera. I had a camera mount, but I don't know what's happening. I'm about to play with it later. I'm on my way to work right now. I just dropped the 2 oldest to school. About to drop her to her dad. And then I'm going to go to work. But I just wanted to fill you guys in on just how life has been lifing with me. Okay? So after my last video, life just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. Financially, my life was shit. After financially being independent, great, not needing any help, my life just did, okay? But life is just not good, okay? Not good. I finally get a job, a good job, where I'm using my degree, and everything is looking up, okay? It's looking up. I'm getting my independence back. I'm digging myself out of this hole of debt that I placed myself in. Things are getting better, right? Okay, I get pregnant again, which is, in the beginning, I was not happy because me and my boyfriend were in a bad place by this time. By this time, Amira is almost 2, y'all. Okay, so some time is passing, but about almost 2 years has passed, okay? And me and my boyfriend are not doing very well. We are still trying to figure out what it is that we're doing. We still kind of just reconnected. So we weren't happy at first. We go to my appointment, my very first ultrasound appointment. And by this time I'm happy. And I found out it's twins. So I'm like in shock, but I'm like kind of super excited. I tell my boyfriend he's not the happiest at first. Eventually he got there. He was excited. But at first he was not. He was like, oh my God. So he wasn't the happiest, which kind of hurt my feelings. But eventually we were both excited. Okay, we were excited. We were happy. We were ready. We wanted boys. He doesn't have boys. We wanted 2 boys. This was going to be the last pregnancy. I was going to tie my tubes after this. Okay. Let's fast forward 4 weeks. I'm now 13 weeks pregnant. We go in for the ultrasound, hoping to find out the gender. He's with me this time. He wasn't with me the first time. He's with me this time because, you know, we want to know the gender. We want boys. And he does the ultrasound, and I'm looking at the screen. My boyfriend doesn't really know what he's looking at, but I'm looking at the screen. I know what I'm looking at. And I see the babies. I see one of the babies. They're not moving. And it looks, I see the back of the baby. Like the baby's laying down. His head is here, the back, the butt, and then the little feet. Like, you know, he was laying down on his side. And he looked like a little puppy. And I don't hear a heartbeat. So I know something's wrong. The ultrasound tech calls in the doctor, so I know something's very wrong. I ask him, are they okay? And he says, I'm gonna just let the doctor come and look at stuff, you know. So I already kind of knew. She comes in and I hear him say fetal demise. And I'm pulling up to work, so we'll continue when I get back. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm headed out on my route to go see my clients. So back to the story. I looked on the screen. I saw one of the babies. They were boys. I saw one of the babies laying on his side, and that was my first thought. As soon as I saw him, he looks like a puppy, like a little puppy sleeping. But I heard the ultrasound tech tell my OBGYN something fetal demise. So I knew that they were gone. I was in complete shock. Miscarriage is so common, but it's not talked about at all. So you think it's not common. You think you're an exception when you have a miscarriage, but you're really not. But we don't talk about it, so you don't think anybody's had one because nobody's saying that they had one. So when I had one, my thought is, what's wrong with me? Am I getting old? What's wrong with my body? Why was my body not able to give them what they needed to live? Okay, so she offered us the opportunity to go and see a specialist to try to get more information on why they passed. She didn't see anything. She couldn't understand why they didn't make it. So she told us we could go to a specialist later that day in another city, but I chose not to do that. I chose not to do that. Now, in the weeks leading up, I feel like they had been gone, because I think she said that they were measuring at 12 weeks, so they'd been gone for a couple days inside of my belly. During this time, I experienced no bleeding, no pain, nothing. I was still having morning sickness. There was nothing. I experienced no sign that something was wrong. Like, this isn't my first rodeo. This is my third child, my third pregnancy. My fourth pregnancy. So nothing felt weird. So to go in and find out that they had passed was shocking. So she asked us if we'd want to go see a specialist. I told her we'd go home and think about it. We went home. I decided not to do it. We went back the next day, so I had to go home with them in my belly, knowing that they were no longer alive. That was very rough. We went back the next day to get our options. So yeah, I told the family. Everybody was devastated. We go back the next day to get our options. So she gave us, I believe, 3 options. This is a while ago, so I can't remember everything, but this happened in September, and we're now in March. The first option was to go home and let my body do its own thing naturally and release the babies on its own. She said that it would eventually, miscarry on its own. Didn't want to do that. That's just traumatizing. I was 13 weeks, so they were pretty small, but they were still big enough to see. So no. Second option was she was going to give me something that would induce the miscarriage at home. So I could either go home and let my body do it on its own, might take a week, might take 2 weeks, or I could go home, she'd give me something and it would happen in a couple days. I didn't want to go home. So the third option was to go into the hospital and do it there. So that's what I did. We went home. We went the same day. We went home. We packed some things, and then we went back. We got to the hospital, checked in, did all the things, got all hooked up and all that stuff. They were giving me medication to open up my cervix so that I could deliver them. I had to deliver the babies, which is something else that's extremely traumatizing. The time that I actually delivered, it was, you know, so we go in the hospital. We're there all night. Nothing happens. My cervix isn't opening, you know, and we're just waiting. The next day, we're still waiting. But I believe they said it was starting to open a little, like they could get the tip of a finger in. I had a catheter in, and I kind of felt like I was urinating on myself, like maybe the catheter was sliding out, because I was getting some like little sharp, I don't want to say pain, but I guess you could say it was like a light sharp pain. So I thought the catheter was sliding out, and I thought I felt my, you know, I thought I was wet. So I thought I was peeing on myself. And then so I told her, and she was like going in to clean me up, and then all of a sudden it was just like a gush of water. It felt like I peed on myself. That's the only way I could describe it. Like, it felt like a release, like I was peeing, a lot of pee. So it was time. So the doctor came in. It was a couple people in there. It was like three nurses and the doctor, maybe 4 nurses and the doctor. My boyfriend was standing right here next to my head. He was so supportive. Throughout that whole thing, he was so supportive of me. And now looking back, I feel almost selfish because he was losing them too. But he had to, you know, be strong for me, which isn't fair. But he was so supportive, and I'm so thankful for him. So it was time to deliver them, okay? They put my feet up. It's just like when you're, you know, delivering a, you know, a healthy baby. They put my feet up. And I had to push. I had to push a couple times. And I felt the baby kind of plop out. And that was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. I felt no pain. I did have, I don't know the correct terms, y'all. I think it was an epidural. It was in my back. It was like the one that stays in your back. So yeah, I didn't feel anything. I felt them come out, but it wasn't painful at all. So I pushed again, and then the second baby came out. I'm sorry. Oof. So they took the babies it's in the same room as me, but it was a little area that was kind of curtained off. Opened the curtain, they put them back there, and you know, the regular baby little beds that they put the babies in. Of course, they could both fit in the same one because they were tiny. They were about this big. They put them in there. They're cleaning them up and stuff. Asked if we wanted to see. I wasn't ready to see because I was scared. I kind of Googled pictures of what they would look like, and I was scared. But she asked if we wanted to know what the sex was, and I said yes, and she told us they were boys, and we both kind of just shattered, you know, because he wants a son so bad, and I wanted boys for my son because he's surrounded by girls, so we really wanted boys. So after things kind of calm down a little bit, he goes up and he looks at them, and I asked him, you know, what do they look scary? And he said, no, they don't look scary. So I waited until they kind of cleaned them up and wrapped them in their little blankets and put their little hats on, and then I looked at them, and human, you could tell, but I don't know. The skin was really pink. You could see their little nose and their eyes and their little mouth. they took their little footprints and stuff. So there's a thing called a cuddle cot where they allowed the babies to stay in the room. I had to stay again because I had to do a D&C to get rid of everything else that was inside of me. So I did that. And then we went back into the room and I kept the twins in the room with me until, I left. So they stayed with me in the cuddle cot. It keeps them cool, keeps them at a certain temperature. I didn't know that when a baby is born in the hospital, they play like a little jingle over the intercom. I didn't know that. So when our babies were born, it was they played a little jingle, but it was different than everybody else's. It was, you could tell it was sad. So they put a little thing on the door to let everybody know, that your baby has passed away. So I wanted to go into a different, they eventually put us in a different area that didn't have as many patients because you could hear, the other people getting visitors and laughter and all that other stuff, and happiness, and I didn't want to hear that. So they put us in a different area for the rest of our stay. So we stayed like another night, and I slept on my side with my hand on both of them the entire night. So yeah, a representative came, and I don't know if they do this in every state, but a representative came and told us about a program that helps you pay for your baby's funeral or cremation. I chose to cremate them, both of them, so they paid for that, which was amazing. I can't remember the name, but it's on the little box that I have, so I'll put it in the video. They were amazing. They just checked on us, so they were really helpful. Yeah, so got them cremated. I didn't want to leave them. I didn't want to leave the hospital without them. And when the next day, whenever we got released, I think the next day or the day after, we had to meet up with the guy at the funeral home to discuss everything. And I told them that I wanted the babies cremated. That was on a Friday, I believe, and I had to wait until Tuesday to get them. So it was agonizing not having them with me. And not knowing like exactly where they were or what was happening to them. So I was at my son's football game, and my boyfriend called me and said that, they said the boys were ready to be picked up. The ashes were ready, so he went and he got them. And it felt so good to have them in the same house with me. It felt so good. All that I had those 3 days was, I'm going to show y'all a picture, the little sacks that they were in. They were really cute. That's what I had. And their hats. And I slept with those things inside of my pants on my stomach. And then I'd put my shirt over it and I'd go to sleep like that. I did that for about a week. It was just my way of grieving them, I guess. So yeah. I'm a mess. I have clients I need to go see. So it felt good to have them in the house with me. I eventually bought them a cute little urn from Etsy that I'll show you guys as well. And I bought a teddy bear to put some of their ashes in. The teddy bear is still in my bed now. I sleep with it. The ashes are on my nightstand next to my TV. So it felt so good to finally have them home. So, you know, that's what's been happening. Am I ready right now for more children? Absolutely. It almost feels like a need, and I don't want to replace them because I'll never be able to do that. But I almost need it to make sure that my body can still do it, or to make sure that God still wants me to have children. Because I told myself I had already, you know, I'm a mother of 5, you know, and now, so that's how life has been lifing with me. And that's why I have not been on here. I went through serious depression, major depression. Still to this day, it affects me. If I think about it too much, it bothers me. My due date, what would have been my due date, just recently passed. That was another rough one. That was March 8th. Would have been my due date. So I've been struggling mentally, emotionally, financially, not anymore, but I was. So I'm on my journey with Christianity now, reading my Bible more, going to church, just trying to build my relationship with God on a stronger foundation than what I had it built on before. And I'm just trying to be okay. But that's what's been happening in life. The other kids are absolutely amazing. They're doing great. Dwayne is like so tall now, almost 6 feet tall. He's 14, just made 14. Jordan is 10. You can tell she's gonna be tall too. She's unbelievably beautiful. Amira is gorgeous. She is hilarious. She's so smart. So the other kids are great. You know, so life is looking up. It was definitely down for a while, but it is looking up, and I am thankful and grateful and hopeful. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me, y'all. I still have every intention of making this the mommy, you know, channel, the skew mommy channel now. So I just wanted to give y'all a recap of what's been happening, just to catch you up on what's going on in my life right now. So yeah, I'm on my way to work right now. Well, I went to work, I went to the office, but now I'm headed out to go see clients. I'm in school. I'm trying to move. I just have a lot of things going on. So I'm going to try to do this thing the best that I can. I'm not a professional at this stuff like other people, you know, so everything may not be aesthetically pleasing or, you know, catching all the right angles and getting all the right shots, but everything will be real and it'll be raw, you know. So I had bought a camera mount for my car, but apparently that's for glass, so I'm gonna buy me another one for the car. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one. Maybe put it in my room or something, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to try to quickly see some clients. I need some water and get a Red Bull, and I'm gonna quickly try to knock my clients out, because then I gotta go pick up my, you know, kids from school, because they don't ride the bus, so I gotta go pick them kids up from school. So yeah, right now it is 11:30, and I need to start heading back to town at about 1:30. So I got 2 hours to try to knock out as many people as I possibly can. So I will get back at y'all when I am on my way to pick up Jordan from school. So